Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun. I mean, you can't pick your coworkers.
Nope.
So,
which is fine.
We were going to record for AMP tonight, but then now we're Clopen.
Yep.
So I had to go from serious and stomach aches to happy and trying to figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yep.
So,
I mean, we don't have to be happy on Clopen.
no, I mean,
We could just
I think
bitch and
our
complain.
listeners would be upset if we weren't because they come to us for laughters.
We'll just rub our good rocks
Yes,
right here.
yes. To the thousands that listen every week, that would be
You know what I forgot
to
to bring you? I forgot to bring you your coasters.
Oh, yes. Please tell everyone about that.
We have an amazing friend that has made a few things for me now.
Yeah, it's very creative.
Yes. And she has, like, I don't know how to explain it. See, she needs to come on and just promote herself.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get her on.
Tab. Calling you out. I should probably make sure it's all right that I call you out. But it's like she does wood burning, but etching also. Like she can do wood, glass.
Yeah, so talented.
She made us slate coasters.
They're so cool.
With Clopen on it, and she did it for AMP, and it says like holy shit on the back of AMP, and it says holy smokes on the back of Clopen. They are so nice. I love them.
They are so nice.
And I forgot to bring you yours. You saw them.
And didn't she ask you for permission? Like, oh, is Meredith going to let me put this? Or how did that go?
She texted Bestie.
Oh.
And was like, do you think they would be mad if I use their logo without their permission, but I'm giving it to them? And Bestie was like, do it.
Only
like,
her, though. She's the only one allowed.
Yes.
We have trademarks. We're copyrighted.
Yes.
So that was nice that she asked.
You can only use our logo if you give it to us. If you're making us free stuff, then you can use it.
are not allowed to sell it or you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But
Yeah.
no, that was so sweet.
We have a lawyer. To make us call our lawyer.
We do have a great one. He's working on our trademark right now because
we're basically famous.
Well, we're basically famous. We're trademarked, and we have to get the LLC doing business as for AMP. Anxiety makes me poop. We're getting that, so he's working on that, and then we're getting trademarked because we're gonna hopefully eventually have a coffee line. So,
I'm so excited
I mean, it's
for
there.
that.
They're waiting for us to get trademarked.
Because
so just
what
waiting on the
else?
state.
What else makes me poop besides anxiety? Coffee.
What do we live on?
Coffee. Oh man, one of my stores, they just put a Starbucks in.
Oh,
It's all brand new and so beautiful, and I can't wait.
why is it that when you're not looking for Starbucks, they're everywhere?
Yeah.
But then when you go and you're like, oh, I'll just stop at this store because they'll have a Starbucks, and then they don't,
They
you're
don't.
like, why is that? Starbucks is everywhere until you're looking for it.
Sometimes they have that other coffee that our friend Greg likes.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't
Hi,
like
Greg.
that coffee. He'll buy me. He'll be like, you want coffee? I'm like, give me hot chocolate. It's one of them
it's
crappy
good
coffee
there.
places. I'll take a hot chocolate.
Yeah. I
Like
think
I'm
it's
8.
so strong for me that I usually just get like half decaf, half
Do
regular
you?
from the other place.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty used to Starbucks. So when you think of 24-hour cancellation notices, what do you think of first?
The dentist.
Okay. So that's very good. I thought of doctors.
Yeah.
But when you Google it online, so everybody go on Google right now and just type in 24-hour cancellation notices, it's all about flights.
Oh.
It's all about flights. And I
didn't think about
I
that.
didn't think of that either.
Yeah.
But it's all about all the different policies, and it names off United, Southwest, like it'll give you Delta, it'll give you all the different cancellation policies for flights.
You know what? Probably because I've canceled dental appointments, but never a flight. Like once
Yeah,
I
right.
once
Like,
I
what's
book
your
a trip,
plan? Yeah.
I'm going.
Yes.
I am going.
Well, and I thought that we could talk about that because it's all the same. You have to cancel within 24 hours, or you either have to get on that flight, or you get charged from the doctor's office, or you get charged from the appointment. Maybe it's a therapist or something like that. But then if they make you wait for the hour,
Jerks.
there's no credit on your bill.
Okay.
And I know this is a big thing among, people
This
that
is
we
what
chat
drives
with.
me crazy. Is even when they're, I'm doing air quotes, on time, you sit in the doctor's office for 45 minutes. No wonder they're so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's like, it's just a business to them. Like, they just move you through like cattle.
Yeah.
They don't have, I feel like old shows, doctors used to make house calls. Like, they knew their patients.
Mm-hmm.
There was, 2 doctors in town, and they knew everybody. And, they knew everybody by first name. Nobody, nobody's like that anymore.
I watch the Golden Girls at night to fall asleep to. And it's funny because their show shows doctors coming to the house.
Yeah.
If Sophia gets sick, they call Dr. Whoever.
Yeah.
And, Blanche always wants
That
to
don't
date
happen
them
no
and
more.
stuff. No,
Yeah.
no one
God,
makes
yeah.
doctors call. No, if they're
Course,
making,
Blanche.
sadly, if they're making calls, it's because you're on hospice.
Right.
Sadly. That's the only
Or it's
way
the coroner. You've already passed.
a professional would be coming to the house.
Do you know that a coroner is an elected position and you don't even have to be a doctor?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that in all states?
I don't know.
Oh.
I learned that on TikTok.
I love that all your facts are from TikTok. That's amazing.
Grandma hates all my facts are from TikTok because she thinks it's fake news. I'm like, well, you know what? It's all fake news, so who cares?
So I looked up. So because flights come up, it says, what is the 24-hour cancellation policy in the U.S.? So it says, do all airlines allow a 24-hour cancellation? And it's actually a rule. The 24-hour rule is a regulation from the U.S. Department of Transportation that says, and you can Google this, airlines must offer either free 24-hour price hold, so you can lock in the price and purchase within 24 hours, or a free cancellation for 24 hours.
So that's 24 hours from booking it.
From booking it.
Not 24 hours from your flight.
Prior, right. Or from your flight, right,
Yeah.
right. If you cancel your booking before 24 hours of your scheduled arrival date, you should be able to get a full refund. But I don't think that...
No, they're like, you can have an airline credit. And I'm like, you guys are jerks.
You know who's really good at the 24-hour policy? Are hotels. Because I've had to do that.
Yeah.
I just went to Anaheim for a conference, and I booked a hotel. And once I started Googling the hotel, and I like to kind of look at the surroundings and all about it, I realized that it was only like a 2-star hotel.
Oh.
And they were under renovation, and people were complaining in just the last 3 months. And it was only a couple days before the conference. So I'm like, starting to panic. And I'm like, they were saying it wasn't a good area and, all this different stuff. And I thought, well, I'm going to try and get something closer to the conference.
Yeah.
So I did find something closer to the conference. First of all, let me just say, don't cancel your hotel or anything like that until you book
a new one.
Yeah, double book yourself and then cancel the one that you don't want, because I almost canceled the hotel, and then I had a really hard time finding a hotel because the conference was booking everybody.
Right.
I was able to find something that was closer to the conference, and when I reached out to the hotel to cancel, they said, "Oh, no problem. You just need 24 hours." And I was like a few days ahead.
Oh, that's good.
So hotels are very good. And I also was going to run a race in Michigan a few weeks ago, and I just don't want to do races anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not in my, I'm doing school and I'm doing work, and we have the 2 podcasts, and, I want to hang out with family and friends. It's just, racing is just not in my schedule for the past couple years. But last year I signed up for it, and I thought, you know what? I love this race. I'm going to do it again. And then when it was getting closer, I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I was ready for it because I run all the time.
Right.
I'm physically ready for it. I just didn't want to take the travel. I didn't want to drive over there. I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to run and then come back. And it was the weekend of Mother's Day too. So it was only a few days before, and I got online and it said, 24-hour cancellation policy. If you cancel before 24 hours of your arrival, no problem. And sure enough, they didn't charge me nothing. It was super easy.
Oh, that's good.
And I freed it up for someone that maybe last minute wanted to do the race.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I'm for now I'm impressed with hotels and how they just. So it makes me wonder if they do have people that last minute book, so they don't mind that you cancel 24 hours out.
There has been times where, like, when I was younger, Grandma drove us down to Florida. I don't think she booked any hotels. We just showed up to a hotel and, we need a room for the night,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all of this, everything that I'm Googling is about flights. So I was trying to get some other, thoughts. And I think I asked Steve, I said, when you think of the 24-hour cancellation policy, who do you think of? And he said doctors.
Yeah.
Doctors, always.
Yeah, they want to charge you, what, $25 if you don't show up?
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know. Sometimes maybe more.
Or it's probably your, depending on your insurance. It could
be your
copay
and that's
or something like $40.
BS, because they need emergency appointments open. Somebody called them that morning and was like, "Oh my God, my kid is sick. I need to get him in." And they're like, "Oh, well, we'll let you know if anybody cancels."
Mm-hmm.
So they shouldn't even charge you because they didn't lose out on anything, jerks.
So I have a test coming up. You're actually taking me to it at the end of July, and I've canceled twice and rebooked it. Just because I like booking, I'm like, oh no, I have like the Dave Matthews concert the night before. That's not going to work. And then the other one was like, oh, it's Johnny's party. That's not going to work. So, and when you call to reschedule, you don't have to tell them why you're rescheduling.
Right.
You can just call and say. Yeah. But me, I feel like I have to tell them.
You gotta tell them why.
So the second time, because all I picture is that they're looking up my chart and they're seeing everything that I've done, right? All the cancellations or all the rebookings. So I called and I'm kind of laughing and I'm like, I know you don't need to know this, but I have to move this because I have a Dave Matthews concert. Yeah. And she was like, oh, cool.
We understand what's more important in your life, your health or Dave Matthews Band. We get it.
So I had to book another month out because it was supposed to be the end of June. And of course, this doctor's completely booked out. So it's the end of July. And so as we're hanging up and she was like, and have fun at your concert.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, oh gosh, don't put that in the notes. Don't put that in the notes.
So what? And you're going to Dave Matthews Band on a Thursday.
In like 3 days.
Did you take Friday off?
I did not, but Fridays are very mellow and nothing starts around me until
gross.
9.
You're gross.
I am an overachiever.
Jesus.
Yes, I am. I've always been like that. That's
you
just
should
my
work
personality.
For HR.
When it's my turn to talk on AMP, anxiety makes me poop. You're going to find out why I am that overachiever. I'm the kind of person, this has nothing to do with retail. Actually, yes, it can. I'm the kind of person that if I go to a race and I'm not running the most miles that are offered at that race, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Oh my God.
Like one time I ran with a friend, I ran a half marathon instead of the marathon. I was jealous of all the people still running the marathon.
Oh my God.
It's weird. My brain's weird, but you're going to find out more about that on AMP. So y'all are going to have to listen. And yours is coming up.
Oh, God.
June 30th.
So
Go to Anxiety Makes Me Poop now and download it because Cass's story is on there. It's very good.
Sick.
No, she has great advice for everyone at the end. You got to listen through the whole thing. It's excellent.
I don't know if it was great advice.
I re-listened to it 3 times because I edited it to make sure it was spot on. And yes, I felt it was great advice. You inspire me.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
Well, that's good.
I'm also not PMSing, so I can't say that I wouldn't have. So I also looked up how you have to say to your clients about the 24-hour policy. You have to have it in writing. You have to let them know over the phone, and you have to let them know in person, depending on when they're booking. Yeah, I did look that up. Like if someone's standing in front of you, you have to say, and if you need to cancel, please do it prior to 24 hours of the appointment.
Otherwise, we'll charge you $55.
Yeah, or they can charge you like a fee. They can charge you for the whole appointment.
Oh my God.
And and actually what I've noticed, this is funny because Julia was making a doctor's appointment at our regular doctor. And she texted me and she said, I'm trying to do it online and she has no availability until November.
Oh my God.
So, but also we know that this doctor only works 3 days a week.
Oh.
So she books up fast.
Right.
So I'm sure that if you're canceling 8 hours out, like, if you have let's just say you have like a 4:00 appointment at night and you're canceling at 8:00, there were probably so many people that wanted to get in. Yeah. So I can understand
they have a whole list
24
of
hour
people that they can call.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember this or if if you've ever had to do this with specialists or anything, but when someone cancels, you can be on a waiting list to get to an appointment sooner.
Yes.
So with the kids, we had some specialist appointments. They would call and say, because they knew us. Like Stephen would go once a month. Julia had to go like every couple months. And so they would call and they'd say, hey, does Stephen want to come in this month instead of next month? Yeah, put us down as long as it was a day that would work for all of us.
Right.
So that's kind of, I don't even know if that's around anymore because
I think so.
How booked out everybody is.
Right. I've had where I've tried to make an appointment, even with the vet too. That's another place that you have to give them notice if you're going to cancel. And I've been put on a waiting list there where if there was a cancellation, it's like when Diesel wasn't doing too good or Jakey Poo wasn't doing too good.
Yes, they put you on the waiting list.
They'll put you on the waiting list and get you in. Yeah.
I don't want to remember that.
I know.
That was a horrible time.
I know.
I also looked up, is rescheduling the same as canceling?
Yes.
Because you're still letting go of that time to reschedule. It says the only difference between that is the intention is to still keep the appointment, but at a different time.
What about the salon?
Let's talk about that because I think I texted you this and I said, when you pull up to a drive-through, food drive-through, coffee drive-through, you're paying before you even are offered your drink or your food. So, And then I was thinking about like salons. So Julie has a salon upstairs. She does nails. She's gotten blown off a few times by people, but they blow her off. Like they don't even show up. Like they don't even call. They don't even send her, like they'll send her a message an hour after she's already prepped and ready for them. You know, where she could have like squeezed her appointments all together. So now she's got this hour that she's just sitting, waiting for this person.
Yeah.
So yeah. Go ahead. You were going to say something about it.
Yeah, that's it. Salons. I feel like salons definitely, that's a lot harder to rebook or have a waiting list.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are willing to leave work to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Right. Because if they're calling for an appointment, they need it.
But like, you can just say people are willing to leave work.
Well,
for anything.
They might not be so willing to leave work early for a 3-hour hair appointment, you know?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, I agree to that.
Yeah, like doctor's appointment you can almost do on your lunch, maybe take a long lunch, you know?
And it could be something that you have to do.
Right.
Where your hair could be a Saturday morning or a Friday night or whenever they're available.
Yeah.
I guess that's the difference between like maybe having to do something if you absolutely have to.
It's needs and wants.
Yes, right. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because my hair appointments are usually super early on a Friday morning. Like she'll open early for me on one of the first ones or later on Friday. Because I know that my Fridays are a little bit mellow. Yeah. You know, I'm usually working from 9 to 3. So I'll see her before.
And you can log in on your phone while you're sitting there with foils in your hair.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if I run a little bit late. Like I think I've taken a call in my car as soon as I was done, you know. So, and they noticed too. They're like, "Oh, did you get your hair done?" I'm like, "No, I'm on my way to stores." I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I say the truth.
Oh, that's funny. I wish I could work from home sometimes. Only sometimes. Like I wish I could be like, you know what? I really don't want to drive in traffic today. I'm just going to work from home.
Another thing is that you can fire a customer, or you can fire a which. This is funny. You can fire like a patient or a customer. You actually just have to write to them and say, this is a cancellation letter to notify you our intent to, to terminate this relationship. You
know, I follow these salon owners on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to that.
Yeah. And the way people think sometimes, and I think, you know, because they'll do these skits where they're both the customer and themselves.
Okay.
And I'm like, this can't be real, you know? It can't be real. Like a person will be like, you know, I want to make an appointment for Saturday at 10 o'clock. And they're like, okay, well, I don't have anything open until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, that's fine. And then they'll show up at 10 o'clock. And they'll be like, why are you here at 10 o'clock when your appointment is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? What does it matter? I made an appointment. And it's like, are people really like that? Are people really like that? I can't believe that that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And like, are they just being a bitch about it? Or are they serious? Like, well, what does it matter? I made an appointment for Saturday. Like, I'm here.
Oh, gosh.
You should take me. I'm here.
Oh, gosh.
Like, do they not understand how scheduling works? Have they just never worked where they had to schedule things? You know, I don't know. Are people really like that?
I'm going to say yes.
I can't believe
We're not like that, but I think yes.
I can't believe it.
People are like anything we can think of, honestly.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's the same salon owner on TikTok, and she does these really, like, awesome, like, rainbow hairs and stuff, right?
Oh, awesome.
So this lady comes in, and she's like, oh, yeah, I just need a trim. And she's like, wait, I know you. Aren't you on TikTok? And, yeah, I'm on TikTok. Oh, if you see me, great, you know. She's like, don't you do all that, like, rainbow hair? And she's like, oh, yeah, I do that, you know. Is that something you'd be? I absolutely do not want rainbow hair. And she's like, oh, okay, well, you're just getting a cut. That's fine, you know, like, that's all we'll do. And she's like, I don't think you understand. I do not like the rainbow hair. I don't think I should be here. I don't think I should use a salon, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like,
I could see people like that.
I don't think you should either, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
So I just heard that there's a coffee shop by us.
Yes.
They only take card.
Okay.
They don't take cash.
Okay.
And a few times a customer will walk in, make their order, they go to give cash and they say, I'm sorry, we don't take cash. It's all, you know, card here or Apple Pay or whatever. Yeah. And the customer is just like, what do you mean you don't take cash? And immediately the Google reviews are getting 1 star because they don't take cash.
I can see why people get upset that they don't take cash, but I also understand why a small business wouldn't want to have to handle cash.
Right.
You know?
Well, and the first thing I think of is safety for the people that are working.
Right. Like there's nothing for somebody to come in and steal. Right.
Right.
But I also understand, like, from the cash point, probably just because I'm old. And, like, we've always been told, like, cash is king. You know? Cash is always accepted everywhere, you know? And then a lot of people are worried about the whole world going to a digital currency and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah. So
although tips can be cash. They have a little tip jar.
Oh, well, see, that, you know. Someone walk in and steal your tip jar. Nope, all tips need to be digital too, you know, because guess what? You need to pay taxes on it.
Oh, God.
You know, yeah. So
that's actually, we've talked about this before. That's why I always do cash tips, because then it's just, you know, dispersed among
they can just claim they didn't get a tip off of
team.
that.
And
But a lot of restaurants do. It doesn't matter. It's, and think about this the next time you tip somebody, because they add up their credit card bills and the government assumes a number from that. So if you tip shitty, that person just paid you to eat there, or like paid for you to eat there.
Wait, explain that to me again.
Because, okay, so say they, you know, cash, or they have $500 in credit card tips, or not credit. I'm sorry. Hold on. Start over.
Yeah,
again.
no, are you talking about the person paying the credit card bill that goes to restaurants, or the person that is working?
So the person that's working, the person that's waiting on you, say they have $500 in credit card tabs, right?
Okay.
And everybody left them cash, right? So we're just going to say everybody left them cash, so there was no tips on the credit cards.
Okay.
Well, for tax reasons, they just make up a number. So say out of that $500, you should have gotten, if everybody tipped you 20%, this amount of money, right?
Okay.
Well, if you're a shitty tipper and you don't even leave them that much, they still have to pay that money. You know, so it's like they almost paid for you to eat, because they have to tip out their bar back, they got to tip out their bussers, plus they have to pay taxes on it, right? So I think it's shitty when restaurants do that. They like automatically take a percentage. Like, no, I'll tell you what they tipped me.
Sure, yeah,
they tipped me $5 on a $400 tab.
Right, exactly. Speaking of TikTok, so I watched some of the hosts, whatever. The one girl calls herself a waitress. I don't even know if we say that anymore. But she did like how much she made for the week, tips, and what she had to pay back.
Yes.
And I don't know, and I've never been in food, so I don't know how that works. I mean, Julia's kind of teaching me a little bit, because she has to work with that, you know, hourly and plus tips. And so she was mentioning, like, you know, I made $1,000 for this week. I can't remember what the middle one was. And then she was like, and then I had tips. You know, she would talk about tips. And then she said, and then I had to pay $18 back to the team or whoever she was mentioning. And it was amazing how it was like 50-50. Like, people are like, man, you get off cheap only paying $18. Or other people were like, I need to come work where you're at. Or, you know, it was just two completely different answers on how she was paying back. Yeah. And like one lady was like, what? On a $1,000 week, I'm paying $300 back in tips. And she wrote, you need to find another place to work. Yeah. Because I guess, you know, I don't know how that works.
That second lady, it's probably a percentage is automatically taken out. You know what I mean?
So
the restaurant is automatically assuming how much you made in tips off of the amount that was charged to the credit card.
Yeah.
So, and that's BS, because like I said, you still have to, you know, a nice place like that, probably a halfway decent place anyways, you have to tip out your bartender. You got to tip out your bussers. If they have food runners, and then, you know, Applebee's was on their shit for a while, and Chili's about tipping out the kitchen. Oh, which is BS. They should. I feel like they should just be.
Yeah, they should just be paying them.
Right. And honestly, everybody complains. You know, oh well, if we paid waitresses a living wage, a cheeseburger would be $15. First of all, it already is. Second of all, if you're a decent tipper, you're already paying $15 for the cheeseburger. So what does it matter?
Right. Right. I know I saw that hair on your microphone that I wanted to lean over and grab it, but I didn't feel like it was bothering you at the time.
Okay, no.
Is it rude to cancel plans last minute?
Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thought. That's my thought.
We've always talked about us. We've canceled on each other. Oh, yeah. Like, if we're just not feeling it.
Oh, shoot. Know. I was starting to get ready. The one time you two were going out, you and Bessie were going out, it was 5 minutes before. I'm like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And so I literally was not feeling it.
I really never get offended if people cancel on me, because I've been known to do the same.
Yeah. It says canceling plans last minute may seem rude, but it can actually be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So next time you're feeling lazy or you're just not in the mood or
Yeah.
you need your own mental health day or don't want to socialize, don't hesitate to cancel those
Because
plans.
what if you came out that night and you were just a bump on a log and we were like, oh.
or tired or
Yeah. What's wrong with Meredith?
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And none of us would have a good time because you weren't having a good time.
It says you're not only doing yourself a favor, but also doing a service to your friends or family.
I agree.
Have you ever had to cancel a party?
Thankfully, no.
Yeah, no, us either.
Yeah.
Us either.
We've always been
I mean, it would have been
blessed.
like during COVID, you know,
Yeah.
but that everybody was doing that.
Yeah, we've always been blessed with like good weather when we're having an outdoor party. Although we were just talking about our engagement party. Me and Bestie Erica had our engagement party together.
Mm-hmm.
It was July 27th, and we were wearing coats. It was cold.
Oh, gosh.
It was cold. But, you know, I feel like you can handle cold a little bit better in the summer than rain. If it's raining, then you're just screwed.
Yeah.
Trying to fit 80 people in your house, no way.
Mm-hmm. So I was behind I was shopping, and it was one of those days where I just wanted to run in for like 3 things. And I got behind a customer that wanted to tell the cashier the reason that she was buying every single thing that was on the belt
Oh, God.
and from her cart. And it was the only lane open because it was a random like late Thursday night or something. But the funny thing is the woman was like telling her a recipe. I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. It was like,
And you're like, hold on, I got to go grab that stuff real quick. Yeah.
it was like some kind of, and this is going to sound weird, and I may have misunderstood, but it was some kind of like banana brownie walnut something, but it wasn't a brownie. It was like
That
something
sounds
else.
good.
So I've been trying to search for it.
Yeah.
Like she's like, oh, I've seen it on all the socials. I've been trying to search for this treat that she was talking about. And it's because she had lost 200 pounds. Good for her.
Oh, good.
And, you know, it was all that kind of stuff. It was sugar-free pudding and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. So I'm always like, it was a blessing in disguise that I got stuck behind this lady that was telling the cashier everything that she wanted.
I always say things happen
buy.
for a reason, and maybe you don't understand it at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Today, driving, people were cutting me off left and right. And my car's in the shop, so I'm driving Grandma's car.
Oh,
so I'm
gosh.
trying to be very careful,
Yeah, a little
right?
cautious there.
The last thing I want to do is like total Grandma's car, you know? And I'm thinking, you know what? It all happened for a reason. Maybe if that guy didn't cut me off and I didn't have to slow down, I would have gotten into an accident down the road. So we're just not going to yell at them out the window that they're not even supposed to turn left there.
Yeah.
Although I did. You're not supposed to turn there. Yeah.
So there's a couple people that have cancellation policies. It says there will be a $25 cancellation no-show fee if you are unable to make your appointment. I don't have the facts in front of me, but I wonder how many people don't pay that. It's probably just on your bill. You can't go to the doctor again, right?
Yeah, they just go find a new doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I feel like I feel like if you have a good doctor that you go to often and you're on good terms with them and something emergency-wise comes up, they're not going to charge you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know they have a waiting list of people that are waiting for appointments anyways. They're going to take care of you and schedule you, you know. But if you're like an avid canceller or rescheduler, yeah, they're going to start charging you, you know.
Or they're just going to fire you as a client or a customer.
Right.
Also did a little bit of research on, because, you know, everyone's catching up on their weddings. And so venues are very busy.
Yes.
And I only heard about this because of work. There's quite a few people getting married.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's very hard to find a venue right now, which is one of my goals in life, is to own a venue. But
I know you've talked about that before.
yes, there is
And I'm
not
ready
enough
to-
venues out there.
I'm ready to partner up with you.
I
on
know.
that. That's our next
we're gonna-
adventure.
Yes, I know.
We're
Everyone's
just
like, you
going to
guys are
pack
crazy.
ourselves out with so much shit to do that we don't have time to be anxious.
Miserable. We don't have time to be depressed and miserable.
We won't have time to shit.
oh, we will. There's going to be a lot going on. But yeah, and I don't know that there's a shortage of venue. I think just we are still trying to catch up from a full year and a half of being off. Or some people, places completely closed, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, so I was looking that up as well. And with venues, and this might be, you know, I don't know if this is everywhere, but if you put a down payment, you know, $3,000 down, and you decide that the wedding's no longer, or you pick another venue, you lose that $3,000 or $1,000 or whatever it is.
We rented the taco truck and I had to put a deposit down and it said right on it, deposits are non-refundable if you cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other companies or businesses do that. Like if you put
a down payment on it.
Think about that. And then I'm also thinking of something small. So we got the basement carpeted many, many years ago. And we had to, for someone to come and just look and give us a quote, we had to put down $150.
Yeah, see, F that.
But if we kept the appointment, and even if we didn't go with them, we would get the $150 back.
Yeah.
Or they would credit it towards the purchase.
The carpet.
But we actually didn't go with them. We got sticker shocked by them and went with another company.
Right.
And it took about 2 months to get the $150 back.
Yeah, they don't want to give it back.
Of course
to
not.
You.
And
No.
what, but so I was thinking of that's small, but I mean, like I was thinking venues or like the taco truck or things that you would rent maybe.
Yeah.
Because, for example, Johnny's Dunk Tank.
Yes.
So I put down $100 so that we could have it for the weekend.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we said, nope, no, everyone's got the stomach flu. There's not a party. Do I get that $100 back?
Okay, so actually, I think Johnny went to the same place to rent a tent before we knew a friend had one.
Yeah.
And he had paid in full. He just said, yes, I want it. I'm just going to pay for it now, and then I'll pick it up, drop it off.
Yeah.
And then our friend was like, no, don't get a tent. I have one that you can use. So Johnny went back and said, you know what, I'm going to cancel it. I mean, that was like 3 weeks in advance, probably.
They say had plenty of time.
And they gave him a full refund.
Okay.
So
I would say that's plenty of time. You're probably not losing out.
Yeah.
But, it could be, there could be other companies, other rental companies that say, sorry.
Do you think Johnny reads any fine print? Absolutely
not. Do you
not.
think Meredith reads any fine print? I'm talking third person. I don't. I'm just like, here. I just throw money at it. I'm like, hopefully everything goes well.
I know. Can we talk about Johnny in the dunk tank real quick?
Yes, please.
Because
everyone picture this. A grown, retired man.
And he had boxer briefs on. And you and him came up with this great plan.
Oh, no. He came up with this great plan.
So Johnny came up with this great plan that he was going to shove a wig down the front of he was looking for a bathing suit.
Yes.
And he couldn't find one. So he just bought boxer briefs.
Yes.
And he shoved a wig down the front and left it hanging out the top and the bottom. And it was a very large bulge in his pants also.
Oh, my God.
And when he came out and took off his shorts and got into that dunk tank, everybody was like, oh, my God. And my sister-in-law said kids were like, Mom, what is that coming out of Uncle Johnny's pants? And my friend's brother really thought that it was his bush. He's telling her, oh, my God, that was the biggest bush I've ever seen on somebody. I told Johnny that. He about died laughing.
Oh,
because he's like, who would think that that was real? I'm like, clearly the kids were traumatized by it. We're going to have them on anxiety in a couple of years, and they'll be like, yeah, I just remember my Uncle Johnny coming out, and there was just hair everywhere. It was so weird. I was laughing
he didn't
so
give that
hard.
wig back to me, by the way.
No, he didn't.
I
made sure.
I sent over 3, and I said, if you try any of these on, I don't want them back.
Right.
But he picked the one.
He picked
used
one.
the one.
He stuck
gave
with
me
it.
2 back.
He goes, I promise I did not put these down my pants. Oh, my God. I was laughing so hard.
I think it was the Napoleon Dynamite wig. So if
Yes.
everyone can picture
Oh
Napoleon
my God,
Dynamite.
It was the Napoleon
yes,
Dynamite
it
wig.
was. Oh, was that great?
That was great when he dressed as Napoleon Dynamite, too, by the way.
That was Julia.
That was Julia.
Oh, she was spot on. She was spot
looked
on.
just like him.
Amazing with the big glasses.
God,
and
I
the vocal
pictured you
page.
in that. You would look really good as Napoleon Dynamite,
Well, we
too.
should probably do that some year. Yeah, we already have plans for this year.
I'll be
but-
Pedro.
Yeah,
Vote for Pedro.
Do you know that there's only, 6 more months till Christmas, 4 more months
Get
till
out.
Halloween?
I know.
We need to start planning.
And did I tell
Cookie
everybody
baking, Halloween.
that I am done with Christmas shopping?
Oh my gosh, amazing.
I'm done.
Amazing.
Done.
Did you do a lot of it online?
No.
Or did you shop last year?
I made one thing. I made one thing for everybody.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Done. It was an easy
Fantastic.
thing. I'm taking an easy road this year. But everybody will like it. I know they'll like it.
Oh, yeah. You are the
Yeah.
best gift giver.
I don't know about that.
Yes, you are.
I don't know. Oh, and then you and Bestie got me a Ring camera.
Yes.
For my birthday.
For your birthday, yes.
Which Johnny is very excited about. And you know what he did today? He went and got a Ring doorbell, too.
Amazing.
He wants the whole set.
Yes, and do they sync up together?
Probably.
Because we don't have a Ring doorbell, but we have
know.
cameras around the whole
Yeah,
house.
I'm sure they do.
So can we talk about the reason why I bought you a Ring camera?
Yes.
We have so much fun.
Yes, we do.
With our Ring cameras. When people are leaving our house, they forget that we have cameras. They're farting on the cameras. They're talking about each other. You know, like friends will leave and I'll be like, what are you saying?
Oh, that's so funny.
Most of the time it's like, hey, that was a fun party. But the farting gets me every time.
Yeah.
That is so funny. They hold it while they're here in the house and then walk out.
Yeah.
So I told you, now everyone can fart on your camera.
Yes. Yes. That's wonderful.
So fun.
The videos of people farting on the Ring cameras are just, they always crack
laughing.
me up.
I mean, I fall on the floor crying, laughing. It's so funny.
And then you were talking about like when you got to go up and change the batteries and stuff and your face is all in it and like how funny it is. You're all like, in the camera.
I'll do it like on a Sunday night, no makeup, just got up from
funny.
a nap and I'm like, oh shoot, there's a camera out. I got to go change the battery. So I climb up the ladder. I'm just like,
right in the camera.
Right in the camera looking up my nose. So if you don't have a camera, go get one. They're hilarious.
I'm
a lot of
excited
fun.
to see the wildlife that goes through our yard.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I can just imagine.
You'll see raccoons, chipmunks. Well, and I told you there's a setting on the Ring camera you could do for it identifies person, or if you just leave it on full, it'll show you everything. The wind blowing, birds, hummingbirds.
Yeah.
You know, we have raccoons, possums. I mean, it's like we bought a zoo around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. It's
That's
so fun.
so funny.
Well, let's end on that.
That's it.
Yeah. So stop canceling unless it's within 24 hours.
Don't be a douche.
Don't be
Don't be a serial canceler /
Don't do it.
rescheduler.
Don't do it.
They will cancel your ass.
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.